Hey guys, it's Alicia. Okay, so I did the book Entwined by Heather Dixon, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about this book before I read the inside of it. This book is based off of the fairy tale The 12 Princesses, and I've never heard of this fairy tale. I still have not looked up this fairy tale. I didn't know anything about it, and I could still read it, and it's still comprehensible. So I just wanted everybody to know that. Also, I can't decide if I love or I hate this book. I really don't know what to give it in rating. I'm going to start giving the ratings at the beginning because I started to realize that if you don't watch the spoiler section, which you should not be because you haven't read the book yet, you have no idea what I rate it unless you click down below. So, because of the fact that I can't decide if I love it or I hate it, I'm going to give this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Because there are parts in this book that I absolutely thought droned on and drove me insane, and I hated it. And there are other parts of this book that I couldn't put the book down, and I loved it, and it was amazing, and I would tell everyone to read it that I know. Like, oh my god, you have to read this book. So, a 3 out of 5 is what I'm going to give this book. Alright, so I think I said everything. Oh, no, I lied. It's published by an imprint of Harper Teen. So if you like the books that are published by that company, you're probably most likely going to enjoy the book. So I'm going to read the inside to you guys, and then we'll get going. Azalea is trapped. Just when she should feel that everything is before her, beautiful gowns, dashing suitors, balls filled with dancing, it's taken away. All of it. The keeper understands. He's trapped too, held for centuries within the walls of this palace. And so he extends an invitation. Every night, Azalea and her sisters may step through the enchanted passage in their room to dance in his silver forest. But there is a cost. The keeper likes to keep things. Azalea might not realize how tangled she is in this web until it is too late. So that's the cover of it. The book is pretty long. I think it's about 480 pages. So it's a little bit longer than most of the books that I choose to read. I still got it done in a fairly decent amount of time. I think all in all it took me about 10 hours to read it. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't very long. So this book starts off with Azalea going to a ball and talking about her sisters, how they're all peeking outside the ball because they don't want, like, they're not allowed to go because they're not of age. This is the beginning. I hated the beginning because I was very confused. I feel like it bounces a lot. And if you, like, I normally don't have a hard time keeping up with that. But the beginning of this book was so hard for me. It was so hard to get into in the beginning. And I didn't click with it in the beginning. I think it was about 40 pages, maybe 50 before I really got into it. But then again, the book was almost 500 pages long. That's not very many pages. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a decent book. She can write very well. There's a lot of British slang in here. And if you don't know British slang, you're going to be very confused. I'm lucky I have a couple of friends that actually live in the UK, so for the most part, I could just ask them and they would tell me what it was. There were a couple words though that they didn't even know, so and based on when this book takes place, that there might be like a, reason for that. This book is basically about Azalea and her sisters, and they're all princesses, and their father is the king of a town that I'm not going to try and pronounce because I'm going to mispronounce it, and it's in England, and their family conquered, I guess, this evil king hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and he used magic, and it's that's how the keeper is involved in it. He's was trapped there. So, like, during that reign of that High King, so it's all interconnected. And, yeah, it was a decent book. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't reread it, but, I definitely think everyone should read it. So, take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, so I think we're just gonna go ahead and get into the spoiler section. As always, if you haven't read this book, please don't watch the spoiler section. And if you do, don't be mad at me if you hear about it and then you decide that, I ruined it for you or something. So anyway, let's go to the spoiler section. So this book, Azalea, I love Lord Bradford. He's probably my favorite character in this entire series, or not series, book, excuse me. I think that either him or the king, I really liked the king too. I didn't like the sisters. I really hated Bramble. I thought she was really, really weird and annoying, and I just didn't click with Bramble at all. And Lord Teddy, I thought that he was kind of odd, but then it was kind of okay because he went with Bramble, so that's fine. And then also the keeper, I always thought he was weird, and I thought they were dumb for going into the forest. I don't know, I kind of felt like the story was a little bit predictable. Like, I figured out what ended up actually happening way, way, way at the beginning of the book. So I wasn't really surprised. This book didn't really shock me. I wasn't really like, oh my god. And I think that's the kind of book that I like to read. And that's the kind of book that, I normally read. So I was a little disappointed in that by this book. I think that, what was this? The Minister Farewell, the Prime Minister, excuse me. I was so confused how him and Clover, like, I thought it was just kind of randomly, weirdly added in that she was with him. I mean, it was cool, like, I liked it, but I wish that there would have been, like, a little bit more hints. I mean, we have the hint with him at, the jewelry store or watch store or whatever, where he goes in to get the super delicate watch, which I actually thought was going to be for her. So I was so surprised. I was like, Clover? Like, it was just really random to me. Like, I wish there would have been more things where, like, she noticed, like, oh, there's a letter here and it's for Clover. That's kind of weird, or something that just kind of showed a little bit more of Clover and the Prime Minister. I feel like we were supposed to feel terrible at the beginning when the mom died, but I kind of figured when Azalea was in there that that's what was going to happen. And I also she's only in the book for a very, very short amount of time, and I didn't really feel like we had a chance to connect with her. So when the whole situation arose where she thought she saw her mom's soul being held by the keeper, I didn't really understand. I was just kind of more like, get your things that you need to get that he stole from you and leave. I didn't really understand. I mean, I didn't get it. Does that make me sound heartless? I'm sorry if that makes me sound heartless. I just didn't I didn't have a connection with the mom, so I didn't really feel like that was a pivotal moment in the story, which it was supposed to be. And, what else? I feel like I'm really critiquing this book when I actually think it's a really good book. I expected a lot more. You know how I normally judge a book by its cover, and then I rant and rave to you guys about how much I loved the book? Well, I judged the book by its cover, and it kind of came back and bit me, so. I thought, look at this cover. It's beautiful, and it goes on the side, and it goes throughout all the chapters. Let me see if I can find one for you guys. Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm slow. See, they do it on the chapters too, so. I don't know, I thought that was really pretty, but I expected a lot more from this book, and I shouldn't have. Because that's bad to judge a book by its cover. Now I've learned, don't ever judge a book by its cover. Overall, if you know the fairy tale, you're really, really, really gonna love this book. I promise you will. I like this book. Again, wouldn't reread it. 3 out of 5 stars. I finally got that book in the mail that I was talking to you guys about, the Recovery Road by Blake Nelson. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really hoping I'm gonna like it. That is going to be the next review, and it'll actually probably be by Wednesday. Even maybe by Monday, so just kind of forewarning you there. And then, as always, my Goodreads and my blog is down below. And if there's any other questions you guys have, feel free to message me or comment below. I don't have any problem with it, or if I said anybody's name wrong or anything like that, please let me know, because it drives me insane when people say my name wrong. So just let me know. Alright, bye guys.